the real reason you can't stay consistent. If consistency was just about discipline, you would have figured it out by now. You have read the books, you have tried the routines, you have downloaded the planners and productivity apps. So if you're still inconsistent, the problem isn't effort, it's something deeper. Inconsistency is almost never a motivation problem. It's a nervous system problem. You can't stay consistent with something that part of you doesn't feel safe doing, even if it looks perfect on paper, even if it's something you should want. Your mind might be committed, but your body remembers everything. But let me tell you, the body always has the final word. At first, consistency feels easy. You're motivated, you're inspired. You feel like this time will be different. And for a while, it works. Until one day, without a clear reason, you stop. Not because you stop caring, but because something inside you quietly pulled the brakes. This is where most people go wrong. They try to fix inconsistency with more pressure, stricter schedules, more rules, more self-criticism. But pressure doesn't create consistency. Safety does. Your nervous system is constantly asking one question: is this safe for me? If an action is linked to shame, self-judgment, or the fear of not being good enough, your system will resist it. Not consciously, somatically. That resistance shows up as procrastination, avoidance, sudden loss of motivation, forgetting, and then you blame yourself. But what's actually happening is self-protection. Think about the things you do effortlessly every day. Breathing, scrolling your phone, walking into familiar spaces. You don't need discipline for these actions. Why? Because there is no internal threat attached to them. Now think about the habits you struggle with. Going to the gym, creating content, speaking honestly, being visible. These actions often carry emotional weight. If I start, I have to do it perfectly. If I succeed, people will expect more from me. If I fail, it proves I'm not enough. That weight turns action into danger, and your nervous system does exactly what it's designed to do. It avoids. This is why motivation never lasts. Motivation is emotional. It rises and it falls. Safety is physiological, and physiology always wins. If you don't feel safe being imperfect, being slow, being seen while learning, consistency becomes impossible. Because every attempt feels like exposure. Another reason people struggle with consistency is something few are willing to admit. Many habits are built on self-rejection. You're not changing because you love yourself. You're changing because you don't. You're trying to fix yourself. That energy doesn't hold. You can push for a while, but eventually something inside you rebels, not to sabotage you, but to protect your sense of self. You cannot build a stable life on the belief that you're not enough yet. Pay attention to this. Consistency grows from self-support, not self-correction. There is also a missing question most people never ask. Instead of asking, is this a good habit? They should ask, do I have the emotional capacity for this right now? Consistency isn't about doing the same things every day. It's about doing things in a way your system can sustain. If you're already overwhelmed, adding a structure doesn't create stability. It creates pressure. Pressure might create short-term results, but it destroys long-term trust with yourself. And without trust, nothing lasts. If your body doesn't trust you to rest when it needs rest, it won't follow you when you push. This is why so many people feel disconnected from their goals. They've broken too many internal promises, not because they are unreliable, but because they demanded too much. Without offering enough support, consistency begins with repairing that relationship, not with discipline, but with honesty. Instead of asking, why can't I stick to this? Ask, what feels unsafe or heavy about this for me? That single question changes everything. Here you might discover fear of public failure, fear of success and expectation, fear of losing freedom, rest, or identity. These fears are not weaknesses, they are signals. And when you listen instead of forcing, resistance softens. Here's another truth most people don't talk about. Some inconsistency is intelligence. Your system might be telling you that a goal no longer fits, that a reason has changed, that you have outgrown a version of yourself. Consistency without reflection becomes rigidity, and rigidity always breaks. Real consistency is flexible. It allows pauses without shame, adjustment without guilt, progress without punishment. When you stop measuring your worth by how perfectly you show up, you start showing up more naturally. And when action stops being a test of your value, you return to it with less resistance. If you have struggled with consistency, it doesn't mean you lack discipline. It means something in you hasn't felt supported. And support doesn't always look like structure. Sometimes it looks like permission. Permission to slow down. Permission to change the plan. Permission to choose differently. When action comes from alignment instead of pressure, consistency becomes a side effect, not a goal. And the more you trust yourself, the less effort it takes to keep going. Well, if this resonates you, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what would consistency look like if I treated myself with safety instead of worth? If you want more conversations like this about nervous system, regulation, self-trust, and sustainable growth, subscribe to this channel. Share this episode with someone who's been blaming themselves. And remember, you don't need more discipline. You need a system that feels safe enough to stay. Thanks for being with me to the end and listen. And I suggest you to watch the video that I mentioned in the description down below and comment me down below, how was your day today? How do you feel? Okay, dear friends, I will see you in the next video. Till that time, stay calm and happy.